Today we talked about estimating quotients, specifically for division problems that have decimals in them. So what we did is we went over some review problems just to remember how to estimate in general, and I'll go over a couple of those just to demonstrate kind of the most straightforward way to estimate quotients. Now, when you estimate a quotient is the answer to a division problem, remember? You want to estimate the numbers that you are dividing and then divide. You don't do the long division the hard way, the long way, and then round your answer. That defeats the purpose of estimating. We estimate so that we don't have to do all the work in a situation where we don't need to know the exact answer. So here's what you do with a problem like this. 455 divided by 9. The first thing you do is round the dividend. This is the dividend right here. And I'm going to round it. So I underline the 4, and I'm going to round to the first digit. And then I circle the number next to it, put pretty eyelashes on it. And this is 5 or more, so I raise the score. That means that the 4 becomes a 5, and everything else becomes a 0. So now I have 500 divided by 9. So the next thing I do is I adjust this new dividend here so the divisor goes in evenly if it's needed. So I'm going to take a look at this 50. This is the first two digits of my dividend, 50. And I look at this 9. And I say to myself, what multiple of 9 is really close to 50? Now, some kids know their 9's facts, some don't. For those that don't, we're going to fix that when we start rocket math. But if you don't know your math facts, what you need to do is write them down. 9 times 1 is 9. 9 times 2 is 18. And you just keep adding 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 9 times 4 is 36. And you can just add 9 to get the next number. 36 plus 9 is 45. 45 plus 9 is 54. And look like I've already gone over 50, so I can stop. So which one of these numbers is closest to 50? I would say either 45 or 54. And I'm going to go with 45 because that's pretty close to my original number. So I'm going to change this to 45. And then the 0 stays the same. So now I have 450 divided by 9. Now this is much easier to divide. If I know my 9's facts, I can do this in my head. So 450 divided by 9. 9 goes into 4 0 times. 9 goes into 45. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And then it goes in exactly 5 times, and then I can just bring up the 0. So 455 divided by 9 is about 50. Okay, so if you have a two-digit divisor, it's a little different, but it's pretty similar. Once again, we round to the dividend. So I'm going to do this one on the bottom. We round the dividend, so 7,130 becomes 7,000, and I got that by rounding to this digit right here. If you're going to round step by step, you underline this, you circle the next number, you put pretty eyelashes on it. 1 is 4 or less, so this 7 stays at rest, and then the rest becomes zeros. And then here's what's different. This divisor here is 2 digits, so I need to round that one also. So I underline this one, I circle the next number, I put pretty eyelashes on it. 6 is 5 or more, so I raise the score. 8 becomes 9, and everything else is a 0. Now, here's what I do next. If I have a 0 in my dividend, at the end of my dividend, and I have a 0 at the end of my divisor, they cancel out. I can cross them both out, and I'll get the same answer. So now I have 700 divided by 9 instead of 7,000 divided by 90. I'll get the same answer, but I do slightly less work. So, but unfortunately, 9 does not go into 7. It does not go into 70 or 700. So I'm going to look at these two digits here, and I'm going to think about what number goes into what multiple of 9 is really close to 70. Well, I wrote this over here, so I'm just going to continue. 54 plus 9 is 63. That's pretty close to 70. Let's add another 9. 63 plus 9 is 72. And that is even closer to 9. Or, excuse me, is even closer to 70. So I'm going to change this 70 to a 72. And the 0 stays there. Then I divide this by 9. 9 goes into 7 0 times. 9 goes into 72. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Remember, this is what you do if you don't know your 9's facts. So it goes in 8 times, and then I bring up the 0, and that is my estimate, 80. 7,130 divided by 86 is about 80. Okay, so now this brings us to decimals. On the homework, you'll have decimals in the dividend, and we're going to estimate those decimals. And here's what I showed them. Here's what I showed them to do. But before that, I just want to mention that if your divisor, that's this and this, is a single digit, do not round it. It's already as simple as it's going to be. If you round it, you're going to get an answer that's really far away from your real answer. It won't be a good estimate. But if you have a 2-digit number in your divisor, then you do round it. Okay? Just like we did in the 2 examples before this. So here's what you do with a decimal. An estimate is not exact, so I don't care about anything after the decimal. So first thing you do is cross out the number after the decimal. I don't care about it. Then you round the dividend. And this 8 is 5 or more, so I raise the score. So 28 rounds to 30. Remember, I don't care about the 0.8, just the 28. Now I have 30 divided by 9. Well, 30 doesn't go into 9, so I'm going to look at my 9's facts again. Which one of these is close to 30? 27 is very close to 30. And so I'm going to place this 30 with a 27. So 27 will be in my first blank. And then the 9, I do not round it. I do not round the 9 because it is 1 digit. I don't need to round it. 27 divided by 9 is 3. So 28.8 divided by 9 is about 3. Okay, so now we have 393.5 divided by 41. Cross out this 5, but 0.5. We don't need that. We're estimating. We don't need to be that exact. And we round 393. So I underline the 3. I circle the 9. 9 is 5 or more, so I raise the score. And 3 becomes 4. And then I replace the 9 and the 3 with zeros, and I'm ignoring this 0.5 that I crossed out. Now, divisor is a 2-digit number, so I need to round it. So I'm going to underline the 4, circle the next number, look at it. This is 4 or less, so the 4 stays at rest. It becomes 40. So now I have 400 divided by 40. Now, if I have 400 divided by 40, I have a 0 here and a 0 here, so I can cross them out. They cancel out. Now, I can only do this if there's a 0 and a dividend and a 0 and a divisor, 0 on both sides. So now I'm left with 40 divided by 4, and do I need to change this number to make it divisible by 4? No, I don't. This is already divisible. I got lucky. So my dividend is going to be 40. It's going to be 40, and my divisor is going to be 4. 4 goes into 4 one time, and then I bring up the 0. So my estimate is 10. 393.5 divided by 41 is about 10. Okay, so I'll do one more. Number 5, I have 145.4 divided by 21. I'm going to cross out this 0.4. I don't care about it if I'm estimating. I'm going to round 145, and that rounds to 100. I'm going to round to 21. That rounds to 20. And I have 100 divided by 20. This 0 cancels out, this 0 cancels out, and I have 10 divided by 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So 145.4 divided by 21 is about 5.